Welcome back to our channel. Today we are covering AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Certification. To find the complete list of questions and answers, please go to the playlist link provided in the description. Our team is working hard to keep the content up to date. If you find this video helpful, let us know in the comment. We really appreciate if you like and subscribe to our channel. Today's question is: an application runs on multiple EC2 instances behind an ELB. Where is the session data best written so that it can be served reliably across multiple requests? Option A. Write data to Amazon Elastic Cache. Option B. Write data to Amazon Elastic Block Store. Option C. Write data to Amazon EC2 Instance Store. And option D. Write data to the root file system. The correct answer is option A. Next question is: a developer has created a web API that uses Amazon Elastic Container Service and an application load balancer. An Amazon CloudFront distribution uses the API as an origin for web clients. The application has received millions of requests with a JSON web token that is not valid in the authorization header. The developer has scaled out the application to handle the unauthenticated requests. What should the developer do to reduce the number of unauthenticated requests to the API? Option A. Add a request routing rule to the ALB to return a 401 status code if the authorization header is missing. Option B. Add a container to the ECS task definition to validate JWTs. Set the new container as a dependency of the application container. Option C. Create a CloudFront function for the distribution. Use the crypto module in the function to validate the JWT. And option D. Add a custom authorizer for AWS Lambda to the CloudFront distribution to validate the JWT. The correct answer is option D. Next question is: an application needs to encrypt data that is written to Amazon S3 where the keys are managed in an on-premises data center and the encryption is handled by S3. Which type of encryption should be used? Option A. Use server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. Option B. Use server-side encryption with AWS KMS managed keys. Option C. Use client-side encryption with AWS KMS managed keys. And option D. Use server-side encryption with customer-provided keys. The correct answer is option D. Next question is: a developer is testing a Docker-based application that uses the AWS SDK to interact with Amazon DynamoDB. In the local development environment, the application has used IAM access keys. The application is now ready for deployment onto an ECS cluster. How should the application authenticate with AWS services in production? Option A. Configure an ECS task IAM rule for the application to use. Option B. Refactor the application to call AWS STS assume rule based on an instance rule. Option C. Configure AWS access key, secret access key environment variables with new credentials. And option D. Configure the credentials file with a new access key, secret access key. The correct answer is option A. Next question is: a developer has discovered that an application responsible for processing messages in an Amazon SQS queue is routinely falling behind. The application is capable of processing multiple messages in one invocation but is only receiving one message at a time. What should the developer do to increase the number of messages the application receives? Option A. Call the Change Message Visibility API for the queue and set max number of messages to a value greater than the default of. Option B. Call the Add Permission API to set max number of messages for the received message action to a value greater than the default of 1. Option C. Call the Receive Message API to set max number of messages to a value greater than the default of 1. And option D. Call the Set Queue Attributes API for the queue and set max number of messages to a value greater than the default of 1. The correct answer is option D. Next question is, an application running on multiple Amazon EC2 instances pulls messages from a standard Amazon SQS queue. A requirement for the application is that all messages must be encrypted at rest. Developers are instructed to use methods that allow for centralized key management and minimize possible support requirements whenever possible. Which of the following solutions supports these requirements? Option A. Encrypt individual messages by using client-side encryption with customer-managed keys, then write to the SQS queue. Option B. Encrypt individual messages by using SQS Extended Client and the Amazon S3 encryption client. Option C. Create an SQS queue and encrypt the queue by using server-side encryption with AWS KMS. And option D. Create an SQS queue and encrypt the queue by using client record encryption. The correct answer is option C. Moving to next question. A developer has a stateful web server on premises that is being migrated to AWS. The developer must have greater elasticity in the new design. How should the developer refactor the application to make it more elastic? Select two options. Option A. Use pessimistic concurrency on Amazon DynamoDB. Option B. Use Amazon CloudFront with an auto-scaling group. Option C. Use Amazon CloudFront with an AWS Web Application Firewall. Option D. Store session state data and Amazon DynamoDB table. And option D. Use an ELB with an auto-scaling group. The correct answer is option D and E. Moving to next question. An e-commerce application is running behind an application load balancer. A developer observes some unexpected load on the application during non-peak hours. The developer wants to analyze patterns for the client IP addresses that uses the application. Which HTTP header should the developer use for this analysis? Option A. The X forwarded proto header. Option B. The X forwarded host header. Option C. The X forwarded for header. And option D. The X forwarded port header. The correct answer is option C. Next question is, a developer creates an AWS Lambda function to publish a message to an Amazon Simple Notification Service topic. All messages contained must be encrypted in transit and at rest between Lambda and Amazon SNS. A part of the Lambda execution rule is as follows. Which combination of steps should the developer take to meet these requirements? Select two options. Option A. Enable server-side encryption on the SNS topic. Option B. Add a deny statement to the Lambda execution rule. Specify the SNS topic ARN as the resource. Specify AWS Secure Transport true as the condition. Option C. Create a VPC endpoint for Amazon SNS. Option D. Add a string equals condition of SNS protocol HTTPS to the Lambda execution rule. And option E. Add a deny statement to the Lambda execution rule. Specify the SNS topic ARN as the resource. Specify AWS Secure Transport false as the condition. The correct answer is option A and E. Thank you.